Hi guys, this is Agota from Rose Gold and I would like to show you some different ways how to decorate your own roll-on bottles. Are you ready? Let's do this! Today I'm gonna show you the two methods I'm sealing my bottles. Epoxy resin is a cheap and useful sealer. Using epoxy resin is really easy if you follow the proper procedure. Make sure you wear protective equipment and work in a well-ventilated area when you're handling epoxy resin. You can find all the equipment I use in the Arts and Crafts for Roller Bottle YouTube video. Link is in the description. In its liquid state, epoxy resin can irritate your skin, eyes and respiratory system, so I'm gonna put my mask and gloves on. Okay, I need 3 plastic cups. I'm gonna measure the resin and the hardener. Mix the resin according to the manufacturer's directions. In my case, the mixture needs to be in 100 to 55 ratio. In this case, I want to cover 22 bottles, so I need about 50 grams of resin. If you plan to cover only a few bottles, you will of course need a smaller amount of resin and hardener. However much you use, remember to keep the mixing ratio constant. Okay, I need 50 grams of epoxy resin. And it's done. I spilled some resin, but it's not a problem, I can clean it up with some alcohol. It's also a good idea to clean the bottle so it won't be sticky next time you use it. Okay, it's done. So let's measure the hardener. I need 27.5 grams of the hardener. It's more fluid than the resin, as you can see. I poured the hardener in the resin. And then scrape out the leftover. And slowly start to mix them together. You need to mix them for about 3 minutes, but be careful, you don't want to get lots of bubbles. Now, from my experience, some of the most common problems with the resin are, one of them is the fish eyes. Fish eyes occur when the epoxy is stressed and spread too thin. They are characterized by a crater in the epoxy with a dot in the middle, so make sure you have enough epoxy on hand. Gooey epoxy not spreading easily. As soon as you have mixed parts A and B according to instructions, the mixed epoxy should be poured out and spread over the surface of your project. 2-part epoxy consists of resin and hardener, as I said. When these two components come in contact with each other during mixing, a chemical reaction takes place that generates heat. So, leaving the epoxy in your cup for too long will cause it to generate more heat and begin to harden more quickly. Once the epoxy is poured on your project, it will slow curing time. It takes around 30 minutes to an hour for the mixture to harden. During mixing, be sure not to mix the epoxy too quickly or too rigorously. This will incorporate additional air bubbles into the mixture before pouring. Most often, this is caused by over-eager mixing. After the epoxy is poured and has cured for a few hours, the surface should be hard and smooth. Sticky or soft spots are the result of improper mixing. When mixing epoxy, be sure to mix for 3 to 5 minutes, scraping the sides of the cup repeatedly. Okay, it's done. After 3 or 5 minutes, pour the epoxy into a new clean cup. This ensures that there are no remnants of unmixed parts A or B. For the best results, the epoxy should be at a temperature of 70-75 Fahrenheit, which is 21-24 Celsius degrees before mixing. So turn up your central heating. As soon as you are finished mixing, immediately pour all of your product out into the area you are trying to cover. As I said, I want to cover 22 bottles with this mixture using my homemade cup turner, bottle turner machine. To make it easier, I just put duct tape on the rim of the bottle. It helps me to make the rim resin-free. Okay, the bottles are ready to get covered with my mixture. Slowly pour a line of resin vertically onto the bottle. I always try to hold the cup under it to catch any drips. Then just use your index finger to spread the resin all over the bottle, making a nice even coat. Make sure you fully cover your bottle, especially on the bottom side. If it's not covered fully, you will end up with a rough finish. If there is any excess resin at the bottom of the bottle, take it off and smooth it out. This is important, otherwise the bottles won't stand up. After you are done, wait at least an hour, then you can turn off your cup turner. If you don't have a cup turner, you can also put a hook in the rim of the bottle and then do the same. Pour a line of resin onto the bottle and then use your index finger to spread it all over the bottle. Okay, I feel like I've got my whole bottle covered. I'm just gonna turn it in my hand to make sure that I didn't miss any spots. The epoxy is cured to the touch within about 7 hours, and then it's fully cured between 24 and 48 hours. After it's fully cured, I cut off any drips from the bottom by heating it up with my heat gun. and then taking my X-Acto knife to cut that off. Now let's hang it on to my dryer rack. Now it's time to take off the duct tape. The resin is not dried yet. It's only 35 minutes later, so the duct tape comes off with the resin easily. Okay, let's check out the bottle that is hanging on the dryer rack. As you can see, there are some drips on the bottom that have to be cut off. Okay, the other technique is much easier and doesn't require much investment. You need an LED lamp and a gel polish, that's all. I'm using Cool Top Gel from Crystal Nails, but you can use any other brand. I like this one because it doesn't alter the color of my art. So I'm just gonna show you how this works. I'm gonna cover a bottle with gel polish. You just brush the bottle. Make sure it's fully covered. You don't want to have any gaps on your bottle. Now, to save some time, I normally paint 2 bottles with the gel and put them in the LED lamp. So let's cover the second bottle. Okay, I'm done. Everything looks nice. So I'm just gonna put them in the LED lamp. I normally use 99 seconds twice and turn the bottle half time. And 60 seconds once, turn them at half time. And that's all, they are done. You can already use them. So here the investment is cheaper than the epoxy. You don't need mask or gloves, it's cured faster, but the gel polish is expensive if you want to cover lots of bottles, and the whole procedure is longer than with epoxy. With epoxy I cover 22 bottles in 30 minutes and then I just wait. With gel polish I need to stay for the whole time and it takes about 8 minutes to cover 2 bottles. Okay, so that was all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope now you can decide which sealing method you want to use. If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell. Also check out my Etsy shop, you can find there lots of cool bottles. Send us a picture if you create a bottle, we love seeing your creativity. If you use Instagram, please use the hashtag RoseGoildDIY and it will show up on our page. Thanks for watching, happy crafting!